What is up, ladies and gents? We are back, and in today's video, I'm going to showcase how to clear Island of Terror level 25 and above. It doesn't really matter once you get to level 13. They're pretty much the same. The only real difference is it's substantially more dangerous. They hit harder. The bosses have more HP, so you definitely need to pump damage. So I'm going to play this video because I don't want to do an editing. I just want to just showcase the whole thing. So here at the beginning, I have to let my guys know that I need to be purified for the mechanic, because otherwise you just can't dodge. So right here, I'm gonna stop here because the boss, what he does is he does those heavy attacks, and you have to be kind of choosy of what you want to block, because there's two different things that are going to happen. During the phase of fog, there's going to be one runner that's going to clear away the stacks that he has. And my job is to keep the aggro, but it's just kind of difficult because the next block that's going to come up after this one, if you get hit by it, it's going to slow you down massively. It's just the worst debuff that you can have. So you have to dodge that one, which is going to happen soon. That's why you're going to see a lot of crossbow longbow players giving you the flash wave to heal you. So this block right here, it's not a stationary block. You have to do a rolling block, and if you mistime it, you're going to see some people get hit with a nasty debuff. But thankfully none of these guys got hit. But as you can see, stamina management is a big factor here. But as a tank, unfortunately, look at that, I already ran out. So I know that as a paladin, I'm going to take some hits, they're going to heal me, and I'm going to heal myself. But the big thing here, let me explain. Since there's RNG with the fires, there's two ways you can do this. For me, for the fire runner, I like to have it spread out like this, because as I'm running to diminish the debuff, which starts at 35, you reduce it by running through the fire. And with one of these fires, as long as you don't get obstructed by any pathing, you should be at like 15. If you're lucky, you can get up to like 8 to 11. But otherwise, you can reapply the fire burn that's here by walking over to this one and get the fire again. And that way you extend the timer from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. Now, the other way to do it is have everyone stack on one vent, so that way the fire runner can go ahead and run as much as possible. I just don't like doing that because that's just really messy. If you're a good fire runner, it doesn't matter. Now, the next thing to note here is you cannot eat other people's fog. Like, you have to stay within your vent, because the guy who's trying to reduce his stacks needs as much of the fog as possible. Okay, and if you go around just spreading around the debuff and of the fire, and you're removing it for the vent, and then you go past the vent, you're giving him less fog to deal with. So I'm going to showcase what that looks like. So you see this fog right here? And look at this guy. See, I have 35, this guy has 29, and then pay attention to the runner that completely diminishes his stacks completely. There's going to be someone that has 24, but that's not the fire runner. See it right here. He has 8. So that means he has already consumed enough smoke to reduce the humidity debuff. And if you don't do this, you won't be able to clear the next part of the phase. The next part of the phase where everyone turns into a bubble. Okay. So now I stay here. I'm gonna go ahead and do the block here, and he's gonna do the next couple of hits on me. And unfortunately, if you have horrible stamina management, you're gonna get unlucky. As the fire runner, this is the most scary part for you because your back is turned. And let me highlight, your job is to remove only the debuff of the humidity, which is the debuff that everyone else has it, and they're going to turn into a bubble except for you. Now, the problem with that is because the tank is busy with the boss and the fire runner is running, that means there's 4 other players that need to focus on the vents while also healing and dodging, and it's your job to pick up the slack for everyone else. You have to clear the vents while also making sure that you're not consuming too much of the smoke. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so I block, and then the scary part is sometimes he'll go instantly into the next block. This time I got lucky and he did one attack first, but look, immediately goes into the next block. Sometimes he goes into Fury, straight into the next Fury. So if you are unlucky and have horrible stamina management, you're going to get hit by that debuff. But the big kind of nice thing to tell you is that since you have 2 longbow players, you can use Nature's Blessing to remove the debuff. It doesn't matter if you don't have the debuff. It's just common courtesy to remove it right away, okay? So go ahead and pop it right after that block, and then that way everyone can run to the vent quickly. So as you can see right here, we get launched up, and right here, 2 things can happen. The tank always has to be near the boss, so that way when his bubble's popped, he can instantly grab aggro again, or you can all stack together at once so the bubbles can be popped immediately by the guy who removed the debuff. Right here, I'll show you. So here we're gonna get stunned. Everyone turns into a bubble right here, as you can see. And if the person did not reduce their stacks to 0, he won't be able to pop the bubbles. Now, the funny thing about this part is everyone, when they get their bubble popped, they unga bunga and go straight into DPS. Don't do that. If you are freed from the bubble, the first thing you need to do is make sure that you pop bubbles for your teammates as well. So look, boom, we pop the bubble right there. I go into blocking and go straight into the next phase after this. Look at my stamina right there, just completely unlucky. Now as you can see, I joined this group at the 1 hour mark. I was with this group for about 2 hours. So here's one block, and then he's gonna teleport and go into the middle. Now for this part right here, in 13 and above, he's gonna do the 4 fire waves. But the frustrating part here is, as a tank player, your job is to dodge but keep aggro at the same time. But you have to rely on your longbow players to purify you. And if they don't purify you, then you're dead. 9 times out of 10, you're going to die. So you can get out healed by the damage, but that's very slim to none. And what I mean by that is after the 3rd fire wave, the Kurtaki is going to do multiple hits on you and stun you. And then that's when they have to purify you. So right here. So what I do is I put a fountain down. If you're longbow wand, you put 2 fountains down right there. So there goes 1 fire wave, 2 fire waves, and right here, see Kurtaki's charging up, and he's gonna do 3 hits, and then the 4th one's gonna stun you. 1, 2, 3, stun. So right here, I'm currently stunned. And sometimes you get unlucky and you get hit by this wave, and my health would be down to 30%. Now, if that's the case, then if I'm not purified, this 4th one that's coming quickly is going to kill the tank. It kills a majority of players that are not prepared for that. It's RNG in the directions, but once you see where it's coming from, you can kind of predict where it is. But sometimes it's unlucky, and the one back here you can't really see coming. So since I have so much health, even if this one hits me, I'll be fine. But usually that's not the case. So see, I got hit right here. He purified me, allowing me to block. Now, if I didn't get the purify, I was not going to be able to get through that. So I thank them there because they finally get it that I need the purify. I block here, and here goes the rat phase. Now, rat phase is a bit different. Usually you can ping pong with 2 rats, but lately at these harder levels, it's much easier if you have 3 rats. What that means is 3 players are going to be inside immediately after this knockback right here. That knockback right there, once that happens, everyone's going to be in the ground. For me, I like to run to the edge of the map because I like to keep as much distance from him as possible so he can chase me down. Because what that means is 3 people are going to pick left, east or west or north, and as far as possible. Well, not as far. It depends on what you're comfortable with. Like some players, like I like to see, they like having Kurtaki chase you at the beginning, and then they have you fall into the ground. But for me, I like to walk away as far as possible and keep distance, so I can watch him from over here. So as you can see, he's going to chase me right here. I got feared by this, so that was unlucky. And I also had bad lag. But what I would have done is I would have dug right away. Thankfully, my lag actually kind of semi-hurt and semi-helped me here because I'm actually hitting the dig button. As you can see, the fear is going to go away in about a second. And look, dig. And then once I dig, this doesn't start till the first mouse digs. So he doesn't have this shockwave. What this does is it stuns you, and it doesn't let you move. It's basically like the fear, and then he'll eat you right away. So this happens after the first dig. So the second mouse, which is over here, and third mouse, which is all the way on the left, there always has to be someone up at all times to whack-a-mole. Otherwise, he's gonna go into mech. So like he's chasing, and the hard part is making sure that not only that these fear orbs don't hit you, but also the red thing, because it gets bigger as he, like he's coming up. I like, as you can see, I undug and he's coming for me. So that means as he's going for me, the guy on the back here and the guy over here, they have to be outside as well. So that way, when I dig, he doesn't go straight into the wipe mechanic. So like now he's chasing someone else. I went to dig, and then there's someone here and there's someone here. And then right here he gets up and he goes, I feel so cold. That means he's tired. So here I panicked a little bit. I kind of took his flower, but he had a great recovery. He knew where the other flowers were. Ran in right here, went straight into the next mechanic, and that's pretty much the entire dungeon. We're gonna rinse and repeat. The hard part is the fact that we have to make sure that you repeat the mechanics flawlessly. That means the fire runner has to make sure that he removes the debuff as quickly as possible. Sorry if you hear the beeping, that's my headset dying. But yeah, I'm here. Another cool thing, if you're a tank, you use counter barrier and then use shield throw, and you could just get it infinitely to just pull amazing aggro on the boss with the lizards. That's why I love this dungeon. So I'm gonna just keep letting it play. That way you guys can see the whole run with an English explanation. So he's gonna go ahead and hit me here. Sometimes I'll let myself get hit because it's a lot easier for the stamina management, but it depends on what role I'm playing. Here I'm playing their tank, so he's at 40%. We're excited because we know that we're gonna clear this one. We've got him to like 10% several times. We just got really unlucky with the bubbles. So here we go. So this time, because he's sub 40%, there's 2 vents. You can't forget that, especially after doing this dungeon for so long. You kind of forget and space out. And like here we stack, and sure enough, it explodes right there. We go straight into the mech, and this is where it gets scary because we know that we're nearing the end. But believe it or not, we have to do this another time because the damage just wasn't there, even at 25. I'm gonna go ahead, and I think I might early fountain. Let me double check. Looks like I didn't know I saved fountain. So I have a Immortal Pride right here, Bastion for myself, or Fortress. I'm a little selfish on this one. I kind of only gave myself DR because I'm trying to make sure that I don't die. So that's 3, and we know that it's gonna come from the left side because it's just semi-predictable. Now this is where it gets kind of sus because somebody was not up during the rat phase, so you're gonna see what happens. We got lucky because we did ping pong him for a little bit, so he didn't completely wipe us. But check this out. So I go and run out. I got hit by fear twice. He's gonna chase after me. I dig, and he saw that I got a little bit of lag right there. So he's running out. I come back out, and then I go back in, and then he's gonna push us out right here. And then I go to the flower nearest to my side. So normally that'd be a wipe, but we ping-ponged him for a little bit, so it wasn't a complete wipe. Another cool tip, let me go backwards right there a little bit. If you haven't already, when you're doing this dungeon, pin every single potential flower in your area, so that way, even if it's in the smoke, you can still see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that. At this point, I slow down. Always don't panic, and make sure that you have enough stamina. Even if you're as low health as I was, prioritize the mechanic of dodging, because that's more important than how much health you have, because I would have just died if I had just prioritized trying to heal myself. I would have just been dead. The fire runner did an excellent job. He did this 3 times in a row. I commend him for that, because it is not easy to consume smoke that consistently 3 times in a row without making a single mistake, because the run would have ended right there if it wasn't for him. So we guardian here, we get excited because we know that this is a clear. We replaced a couple people back and forth. Sometimes a few little bit of heated exchange of words, but you know, when you're in a dungeon for like 2 or 3 hours, it gets kind of frustrating. So thankfully we go through it right here and we wrap it up. I think after bubbles it's just straight clearage right here, but like as you saw right there, he went back to back in terms of hitting. So Nature's Blessing goes straight into the vents. This time it's a double as well. It's gonna go straight to the left, I believe. Yeah, it's to the left. And just like that, he's at 4%. We just finish up the last bit of percentage. And the cool thing about this is once you do 25, you can get the title and all of the weekly rewards. I personally don't ever want to climb up to 25 ever again. I just like to be lazy and just join 25 immediately. See, I went up to 13, but for this week I just joined at 25 because it's just so much work. It's tedious. You don't really need to get the weekly rewards when you can just get everything from 1 through 25 just by clearing it once. So it's not a big deal. But that's how you clear the challenge dungeon for Island of Terror. I'm sorry that I didn't do like an edited video. I feel like this is going to be much more helpful than just the edited version. So definitely learn how to ping pong your mice or mice, because if you can't do this part correctly, you're never going to clear the dungeon. It's just a headache. But have your fire runner and have your 3 mice and you're chilling. You could do 2 mouse, but it's just much harder. 3 mice is safer. It's a safer bet. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully this was informative. I may or may not do this for Torture, Carmine, Void, and Slaughter. It's a lot of work. But if you appreciate a video like this, then I'll do this again, because this is much easier on me than having to edit a video down on Premiere Pro. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and follow the channel and follow the Discord. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay blessed.